Hi everyone, my name is Chelsea and this is the second video for a series that I'm doing for children that has to do with meditation. And today we're going to be talking a bit more about our breath. Last week we did a breathing exercise and today we're going to be learning a little bit more about taking great big deep breaths and learning to focus a bit. The theme for today is puppy brain. What do you think that means? Is puppy brain when we're just thinking about puppies all the time? No, that's not what puppy brain is. I mean, it kind of is that way also, but puppy brain that I'm going to be talking about is when you get really distracted. And I know that I get distracted very easily. I have three children, and it seems like I'm always thinking about what snack they need, or whether or not they have their clothes for the next day, or whether I've made dinner plans, or anything like that. So there's a million things going on in my head all at one time. And sometimes it really helps when we just take a deep breath. So that's our theme for today. And we're going to read a book about a puppy called ZG. And this book is called ZG, the Puppy Who Learned to Meditate. This is the story of ZG the dog. He was about this big. He had long hair at the top end and shorter hair at the bottom end. It was mostly brown, but some of it was white. You might think he looked a little bit like a lion, except for one thing. No lion ever looked as rumpled up messy as ZG. That's because no lion ever loved chasing pigeons as much as ZG did. Chasing pigeons was ZG's favorite thing. ZG was part of the Anderson family along with Dad, Mom, Jenny, and baby Jack. Sometimes the Andersons had fun together. Sometimes they didn't. Families all have bad days, don't they? But mostly they were just ordinary, maybe a bit like your family. ZG and the Andersons lived in an apartment in a tall building. Across the street was a little park just for the people living in the apartment building to use. It had a tall fence and a gate to make it very safe. The Andersons liked going there. The park was ZG's most favorite place in the whole world. ZG's second most favorite place in the whole world was on the back of the couch. From there he could see the park below. It was his park, so he liked to keep an eye on everything that happened there. One day ZG was sitting on the back of the couch watching his park when he saw someone new. A boy about Jenny's age let himself into the park. Quietly he walked across the paved area where the pigeons liked to sun themselves. The pigeons didn't fly up on a whoosh. ZG started to bark excitedly to tell the boy that this was his park. Yip, yap, 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 yip, 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 yip. What are you barking at? Jenny asked. She climbed onto the couch to see out the window. That's Nico. His family just moved into the apartment on the first floor. I saw him at school yesterday. He's in Mrs. Grayson's class, so you don't have to get so excited. He's really nice. ZG hoped Nico had a ball. ZG loved playing with balls. He sat down on the back of the couch to watch. Nico didn't have anything at all to play with. Instead, he walked over to the far corner of the park and sat down on the grass. Nico sat with his legs crossed and his back straight. His eyes were almost closed, as if he was looking at something right in front of his nose. He looked just like the statue by the pond. The next day, Jenny and her friend Sarah were building a den in the park. ZG helped by chasing off the pigeons. ZG, you're being too noisy, Jenny cried. ZG helped in other ways, too. ZG, quit stealing our sticks. ZG, quit bouncing around so much. Jenny and Sarah didn't want him to play. ZG felt bored and left out. He decided to look for some pigeons to chase. When ZG came to the part of the park where the pond was, there was Nico. The boy was sitting very still, just like he had the day before. He had a lovely, peaceful smile on his face. ZG thought, here is someone to play with, and he ran to say hello. Nico didn't seem to notice him. Zico tried his best tricks to get the boy's attention, but they didn't work. Then ZG had to be a little bit more direct. He's licking his face there. Hello, little dog. Here, come here so I can read your name. ZG. Hello, ZG. Just then, just beyond where Nico was sitting, ZG saw pigeons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pigeons in his park. ZG would take care of that. When he had chased the pigeons off, ZG came back. Perhaps Nico would like to come with him to look for more pigeons. That would be fun. I understand how exciting it is to make the pigeons fly up, but did you know the pigeons feel very frightened when you do that? Nico asked in a quiet voice. They were enjoying the warm sunshine when suddenly something big and fierce jumped at them and tried to catch them. Why don't you join me instead? I'm meditating. Here, I'll show you what I'm doing, Nico said, picking up a stick. Come over to the pond. See what happens in the pond when I whoosh a stick around in it? The water gets all muddy because it's been stirred up. Our minds are just like that water and get all stirred up with thoughts and feelings until everything's confused. But look, if I stop stirring the water and let it rest, it goes still and then becomes very clear. That's what meditating is. We simply let our mind rest and go still. This way our mind can become clear again, just like the water does. I meditate by sitting very quietly like this. I keep my back nice and straight and my muscles relaxed. Here, you try it. Then I relax my eyes so that they're not looking at anything and feel my breath as it goes in and out. I just barely rest my attention on it. Just then, 3 pigeons landed right near ZG. He forgot all about meditating. Yap, 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 yap. ZG ran this way. Yap, 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 yap. ZG ran that way. The pigeons flew away frightened. Nico came over and gently picked ZG up. When something is fun, it's hard to remember others' feelings because we're so busy having a good time. But pigeons are just like us. They feel unhappy when they're frightened too. Here, let's try again. Sometimes things distract us, but right now we're meditating. Instead of following those thoughts or feelings, we just let them go by. We gently bring our attention back to our breath, going in and out. At home, ZG went to his favorite place on the back of the couch to look out the window. ZG felt nice and calm inside. Even though Baby Jack dropped his cookie, ZG didn't jump down to steal it. He let Baby Jack pick it up again. The next day, when ZG was crossing the street with Mom and Baby Jack to go to the park, a man on a motorbike came roaring around the corner very fast. A monster is coming, ZG thought. The loud noise and sudden movement gave him a fright. He pulled hard on the leash to get away, and it slipped right out of Mom's hand. ZG was so scared, he didn't look back, he just ran. The motorbike monster came running after him. ZG, a voice called. It was Nico. He was on his way to the park, too. When ZG saw Nico ahead, he ran toward him. Poor ZG, Nico said as he scooped him up. You're trembling all over. Oh, thank you so much for catching him, Mom said to Nico. May I help you? Nico asked. I'm going to the park too. Perhaps I can take care of ZG for you while we're there. As they came close to the pond, there was a pigeon having a drink. Look out, pigeon, ZG barked enthusiastically. Here I come. Hold on a minute, Nico said. Remember how you felt when the motorbike came roaring down the street? You were so frightened you ran for your life. That's a horrible feeling. When you chase the pigeons, they feel just the same. They think you must be a monster, and they feel that horrible, scared feeling. It isn't fun to them, like being chased by the motorbike wasn't fun for you. Come on, let's give our minds a rest. Let's meditate. ZG let his mind go quiet and still, and when thoughts came, he just let them float by like clouds. ZG liked the relaxed, happy way meditating made his mind feel. Every day he practiced a little bit. Sometimes he practiced in the park with Nico. Sometimes he practiced in the park on his own. Sometimes he practiced at home. It wasn't hard at all. When thoughts and feelings came, he just let them float by while his mind rested. The Anderson family noticed a change. I like how ZG doesn't bark so much anymore, Mom said. He seems happier. He's more fun to be with when he isn't too excited all the time. May I join you? Jenny asked the next day when she saw ZG running to greet Nico in the park. Will you show me what you and ZG are doing? Of course, Nico said with a friendly smile. It's very easy. Nico picked up a stick. Come over to the pond. I'll show you how our minds can get all stirred up like the water, and then how we make them nice and clear again. And that's the end of our story. So do you remember how Nico taught ZG meditation? How do ZG's reactions to the pigeons change? Do you remember how he was acting with the pigeons at the start of the book versus at the end of the book? What did ZG learn when a loud motorcycle passed by him? Can you remember how our own minds are like the pond and how Nico used the stick to show how our minds are like the pond with the ripples? In order to meditate, we need to calm our minds down. Our mind is like a puppy. How many of you have had a puppy before? Well, as you know, trying to get a puppy to stay in one spot is quite a challenge. You've got the puppy sitting there panting and wagging its tail, and suddenly maybe it sees a squirrel and it goes running off. You drag it back, get it to sit back down, and then maybe it sees a bunny and then it goes running off the other way. Our mind is like a puppy because sights, sounds, and even thoughts are constantly distracting us. So we can get our puppy mind to take a rest in one spot by bringing it back to our breath. So today, let's begin by noticing how we're feeling right now in this moment. If there was one word to describe how you are right now, think of it and remember it. Now take a deep breath in, beginning way down in your belly and up, up, up through the ribs into the top of your throat. And take a long, deep exhale, letting the air out in reverse from the throat, ribs, and now down into the belly. And again. Now check in with yourself again. What 2 words would you use to describe how you felt before and how you felt after the deep breath? Let's do another one. When do you think that taking a deep breath will be helpful to you in the future? Do you think it would be helpful when you're upset, or when you're really sad, or if you're trying to do so many things at once that you just need to focus for a minute? Taking a deep breath is good in so many situations and so good for all of us, adults too. So I hope you enjoyed our little video for today. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye.